Hello, and welcome to another exciting edition of NALS Smart Farmers Corner, brought to you by the S3A SRG under the NALS, FARA, AFAS, SAA, C4C Soil Health Series in partnership with Zaria Fertilizer, your partner in productive farming. I am your host, Halima Musa. Every week, we bring practical farming knowledge from research stations and experienced farmers directly to your homes and field, helping you make better decisions for higher yield and improved livelihood. Today's topic is regenerative practices, promoting low-cost solutions like crop rotation, mulching, residue management, agroforestry, and cover cropping. From fertile to regenerative to healthy, a journey every farm must take. Understand the soil, feed the soil, sustain the harvest, and secure the future. Joining us today are our guests, our soil doctor, Professor Iwai Amapo, our farmers, Haji Aladi and Malam Kasimu, and our extension agent, Shwaibu. You are all welcome.
Thank you, Halima.
Haji Aladi, what is your experience based on this topic?
Some years ago, I saw someone doing something strange on his farmland, which was beyond normal or even okay, and a lot of us in our community felt as though he was crazy. We even made jest of him. On the same land, he planted rice, soybean, and trees. I have never seen something like that before. On my own farm, I only plant rice, and that is how we have been doing it for the past years. Although I noticed that my yield has been dropping, while his harvest has been increasing.
That is exactly why we are here today. Many of our farms still produce crops, but continuous monocropping and poor land management are reducing their long-term productivity. Does this mean our soil has lost its fertility? Or is the problem related to soil health? So, Prof, let's jump right into it. Many farmers think soil fertility and soil health are the same thing. Are they really the same?
That is a misconception. A fertile soil is expected to contain nutrients needed for plant growth, development, and reproduction. But a healthy soil does not more. A fertile soil is expected to contain nutrients needed for plant growth, development, and reproduction, but a healthy soil does much more. A healthy soil has needed content of organic matter, stores and allow water to drain freely, has abundant active and diverse organisms which are beneficial and with low pests and pathogens, has porous stable soil structure, it is well aerated and allows root to penetrate easily, and it protects crops against climate stress. Therefore, a healthy soil is a soil that has the capacity to function as a vital living ecosystem to sustain plants, animals, and humans. A fertile soil gives high yield within a short period, while a healthy soil supports high yields continuously.
So can soil be fertile and unhealthy?
Exactly. Think of a person. A person may have food but still be sick. Likewise, soil may contain nutrients but still suffer from erosion, compaction, low organic matter, and poor biological activity. And so, the nutrients may not be made available for the plant, thus making it unhealthy, as it cannot perform one of its ecosystem functions of supplying nutrients as at when needed. And that is why we call on farmers to adopt the practices of regenerative agriculture.
Interesting, Prof. What is this regenerative agriculture all about?
Regenerative agriculture is farming in a way that improves the soil every season. It is rebuilding depleted soil health by minimizing soil disturbance, maximizing soil cover, biodiversity, and living roots to ensure all ecosystem functions are being met. The goal is that after every harvest, the soil becomes better than before, or at the worst maintained in its current state. In Hausa, we say manomi na gari baya bata kasarsa, yana inganta ta ne, meaning a wise farmer does not mind his soil, he rebuilds it.
So, Prof, if my farm still produces something every year, why should I worry about regeneration?
A farm can still produce crops and yet be gradually dying due to our current practices. A farmer should be concerned about regeneration because your fertile soil contains only nutrients. Your healthy soil supplies needed nutrients because it has good structure, organic matter, and living organisms, while your regenerative soil improves every season, leading to increased productivity. A fertile soil is like a person with food. A healthy soil is like a person with food and good health, while a regenerative soil is like a healthy person who is also becoming stronger every year.
Oh, that is easy to understand. Prof, what exactly makes one soil healthier than another?
There are a number of factors, but the major one is soil organic matter. Organic matter is like food storage, water tank and medicine for the soil all combined. Organic matter is often referred to as the lifeblood of soil due to the various roles it plays, similarly to what blood does in the body of animals.
Is that why black soils usually perform better?
Exactly. Dark soils often contain more organic matter. Organic matter improves soil structure, helps retain nutrients, and allows the soil to hold more water. I must, however, state that not all soil with dark colors are necessarily fertile, as some minerals and poorly drained conditions can impart such dark colors, but generally, dark soil often indicates high soil fertility.
So, you're saying here that fertilizer alone cannot do this?
Yes, it cannot. Fertilizer feeds the crop, but organic matter feeds the soil as well as crops.
During our demonstration in Kaduna, we observed that fields with small crop residues remained moist several days after rainfall, while bare soil dried quickly.
Exactly. Leaving crop residues on the farm is also part of regenerative practices.
So from fertile to regenerative to healthy. Prof, could you kindly expatiate more on this journey?
Of course. Fertile soils are soils that contain nutrients and may produce good yields. Healthy soil are soils that possesses good structure, good infiltration, active microorganisms and sufficient organic matter. If you talk of regenerative soil, they are soils that continuously improve through the capture of carbon, increase biodiversity, conserve water, reduce erosion and become more resilient to climate change.
So, regenerative farming is an investment for future generation.
Absolutely.
Prof, why does soil become tired even when fertilizer is applied every year?
Well, that is because nutrients are only one part of soil health. Continuous cultivation causes nutrient mining, reduction in organic matter, destruction of soil organisms, soil compaction and decline water infiltration. This is where crop rotation comes in place.
Okay, let us begin with crop rotation. What exactly is it?
Crop rotation means planting different crops on the same field in different seasons. For example, year 1 maize, year 2 cowpea, and year 3 sorghum. Year 4 can also be groundnut. This time-tested, simple practices comes with numerous benefits.
Well, when I planted cowpea after maize on my farm, I noticed fewer striga weeds, which is called wuta in Hausa language.
Exactly. Cultivation of crops of different rooting depths and nutrient needs do the following. First, legumes fix atmospheric nitrogen through rhizobium bacteria. Depending on the crop, legumes may contribute about 20 to 80 kilograms of nitrogen per hectare. The practices ensures that soil fertility is restored by nutrient fixing ability of these crops in the rotation. Second, different rooting depths ensure soil nutrient resources from different depths are exploited uniformly. Third, rotation breaks pest and disease cycles, as different crops are affected differently by pests and diseases. Fourth, it improves soil structure and aggregation. Fifth, it also increases soil biological diversity, where soil organisms populations are maintained at healthy levels.
So, planting maize continuously is not good?
Continuous maize cultivation encourages striga infestation. Nutrient depletion, as maize is a heavy heater. Continuous maize cultivation encourages striga infestation. Nutrient depletion, as maize we all know is a heavy feeder. Best build up. Continuous maize cultivation encourages striga infestation. Nutrient depletion, as maize is a heavy feeder. Pest build up and also decline in soil organic matter.
I have planted maize continuously for 10 years.
Well, then your soil is tired. Continuous monocropping causes nutrient mining, striga infestation, pest buildup, and soil organic matter decline.
No wonder your farm has become stubborn.
Well, then your soil is tired. Continuous monocropping causes nutrient mining, striga infestation, pest buildup, and soil organic matter decline.
No wonder your farm has become stubborn.
Yes, striga thrives under low nitrogen conditions, continuous cereal cultivation, and degraded soils. Rotating maize with legumes like soybean can significantly reduce striga populations because legumes interrupt the life cycle of the weed. Application of organic matter also reduces striga emergence.
In our field demonstration, farmers who rotated maize with soybean observed lower striga pressure after only 2 seasons.
Prof, many farmers burn residues because they think they attract snakes, pests, and make land preparation difficult. Why should residues be retained then?
Well, crop residues should be retained because they are not waste. They are food for the soil. Sorghum stalks, millet stems, maize stover, and rice straw contains carbon and nutrients that gradually return to the soil. When residues are burnt, temperatures may exceed 400 degrees Celsius. This destroys beneficial microorganisms and causes loss of nitrogen and sulfur into the atmosphere.
So burning is actually destroying future harvest.
Exactly. Residues improve soil organic matter. They also reduce erosion. They improve infiltration and suppress weeds. Research conducted in northern Nigeria has shown that retaining residues can increase yields by about 10 to 20% after 2 or 3 seasons.
But Prof, in many communities, livestock eat all residues immediately after harvest.
That is true. Therefore, farmers should collect residues, mulch or compost them in protected pits or negotiate controlled grazing arrangements. In the arrangement, insist that the feces and urine from animals should be returned to the soil, but preferably as composted material.
So, the karmami and the karangona are actually a form of manure?
Very correct, Kasimu.
Prof, can maize stalks be used for mulching?
Certainly, maize stalks, rice straw, groundnut hulls, and dry grasses are excellent mulching materials. Remember, bare soil is sick soil.
So, mulch is like keeping water in a clay pot?
Exactly. You are storing moisture for future use instead of allowing it evaporate due to heat generated by the soil.
Prof, is this regenerative practices related to conservation agriculture?
Yes. However, conservation agriculture rests on 3 principles, which are the principle 1, minimum soil disturbance. Excessive tillage destroys soil aggregates. It also increases oxidation of organic matter and erosion. Principle 2, permanent soil cover. The soil should never remain bare. Principle 3, crop diversification. This includes crop rotation like we discussed earlier. Different crops improve biodiversity and reduce pest buildup.
Prof, our fathers usually plow many times before planting. Is that still necessary?
Not always. Every tillage operation breaks soil aggregates and exposes organic matter to rapid decomposition. Too much tillage also increases moisture loss.
So more tillage does not necessarily mean better farming.
Exactly. Reduced tillage conserves moisture. It also protects soil organisms and reduces erosion. This is particularly important in the Sudan savanna, where rainfall is short and erratic.
During our extension visit, we have observed that reduced tillage plots remain moist longer during spells.
That is correct. The goal is not to stop tillage completely, but to disturb the soil as little as possible. When soil aggregates are destroyed, rainfall easily forms crusts on the surface. Crusted soils allow less water infiltration and increase runoff. The aim of tillage is to facilitate seed emergence, increase rooting volume for shallow soils, and hold the crop in place. If a soil can provide the above, excessive tillage is not necessary.
So, Prof, rainfall patterns are becoming unpredictable. How can farmers conserve the little water they received?
Excellent question. One regenerative practices is water harvesting. Practices such as tide ridges, contour bonds, and zai pits help trap rainfall inside the field.
I have seen tide ridges in some communities.
Yes, tide ridges slow runoff and allow water to infiltrate into the soil. This increases water availability during dry spells.
This is particularly useful in places like Katsina, Kano, Jigawa, and other drier areas.
Absolutely. Under climate change, every drop of water is valuable in the environment just mentioned.
We have just learned that continuous planting the same crop can make our soil tired and increase problems such as striga, pests, and nutrient depletion. But regenerative agriculture is not only about changing crops. There are other simple and low-cost practices that can gradually rebuild our soil and make them healthier every season. We will take a short break now. When we return, we shall discuss how practices like cover cropping can protect moisture, feed soil organisms, and improve soil health. Welcome back back to NARLS Smart Farmers Corner. The soil doctor has just shown us how crop rotation can improve soil fertility and restore soil health. But after harvesting our crops and rotating them, is the work finished?
Not yet. Regenerative agriculture is not simply about crop rotation. There are other important practices, which we will still talk about.
Prof, during the dry season, many farms remain completely bare until the next rains. Is that good for the soil?
In my own case, after harvest, I simply leave the land empty until the next planting season.
This is not a good practice, and it is one of the reasons many soils continue to degrade. Nature does not like bare soil. In natural ecosystems, the soil is almost always covered by vegetation. One of the principles of regenerative agriculture is to keep living roots in the soil for as long as possible.
Living roots? What do you mean by that, Prof?
This brings us to another important regenerative practice known as cover cropping.
So what is cover cropping?
Cover cropping involves the planting of crops mainly to protect and improve the soil. Examples include mucuna, lablab, and cowpea. Benefits of cover cropping include weed suppression, erosion control, nitrogen fixation, improvement of soil carbon, and increased microbial activity. Cover crops can significantly increase soil organic matter over time and nutrient recycling. Legumes have special bacteria called rhizobium inside knot-like structure known as root nodules. These bacteria capture nitrogen from air through a process called biological nitrogen fixation. Cowpea may contribute about 20 to 40 kilograms nitrogen per hectare. Soybean may contribute 30 to 60 kg, and mucuna may contribute even more.
So the air above our heads contains fertilizer?
Yes, it does. Almost 78% of air is nitrogen. Legumes help farmers harvest some of that nitrogen naturally. This is because the nitrogen in the atmosphere is in gaseous form and cannot be taken up by plants. The rhizobia converts it into form plants can absorb through their roots.
Prof, many older farmers used to leave certain trees on their farms. Is this also regenerative agriculture?
Very much so. This practice is called Farmer Managed Natural Regeneration, or FMNR. Instead of cutting all shrubs and tree stumps, farmers selectively protect and manage naturally regenerating trees.
So farmers do not necessarily need to plant new trees?
Exactly. Nature often provides the seedlings. Farmers simply protect and prune them.
Which tree species are useful?
Species such as gao, kanya, and some acacias. The most famous is Fidabia albida, locally called gao.
Why is gao important?
Because unlike most trees, it sheds its leaf during the rainy season when crops need sunlight and produces leaves during the dry season. Its leaves enrich the soil with nutrients taken up from deep soil layers. This is a typical example of what we had earlier mentioned as nutrient cycling. The leaves also provide fodder. Some studies have shown nitrogen benefits equivalent to as much as 100 kilograms of nitrogen per hectare.
Okay.
This is why many farmers say, Gona me gao tana da albarka.
Prof, people don't talk about carbon. What does carbon have to do with farming?
Everything. Plants remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Some of this carbon enters the soil through roots and residues. This process is called carbon sequestration. Regenerative agriculture practice helps store carbon in soils, thus improving productivity. Healthy soils are important in climate change adaptation. In increasing soil organic matter by only 1% can substantially increase water holding capacity. Regenerative soils withstand droughts better. They also absorb excess rainfall, reduce flood damage, improve resilience to dry spells. Plants absorb carbon dioxide through photosynthesis. Some of this carbon is stored in roots, crop residues, and soil organic matter. So therefore, healthy soils help reduce greenhouse gases while increasing productivity.
Prof, farmers usually ask, how can soil organic matter help during droughts?
Organic matter acts like a sponge. It absorbs rainfall and stores water for later use. Increasing soil organic matter by only 1% can greatly improve water holding capacity.
Oh, that explains why some farms remain green during dry spells.
Exactly. Regenerated soils absorb excess rainfall better, reduce flooding, reduce erosion, and withstand drought. In the future, farms with healthy soils will be more resilient to climate change.
Thank you, Prof, for that wonderful explanations. Our lines are open, but before we take a call, let's go to the Soil Doctor Clinic, where questions sent by our listeners are answered. Prof, are you ready?
I am always ready.
Alright, our first question is from Badia from Kobo local government area, and she's asking, can I rotate maize with sorghum if fertilizer is applied?
No, rotation should involve different crop families, like legumes with cereals can be rotated.
Okay. Second question from Mansour from Katanga. Will mulch attract termites?
Some termites activity may occur, but overall benefits are much greater.
Okay, the last one we have here is from Asia from Samaru. How long does it take to restore soil health?
Visible changes usually begin after 2 to 3 seasons.
Thank you, Prof. We now have a caller on the line. Let's take our first call. Hello, welcome to Smart Farmers Corner. Can you tell us your name and where you're calling us from?
Hello, my name is Bello, calling from Zoba. I cannot afford much fertilizer. Which regenerative practice should I start with?
Excellent question. Start with 3 things. Stop burning residues, rotate cereals with legumes, apply mulch and organic manure. These practices cost little but give enormous benefits. Fertilizer is important, but regenerative practices make fertilizer work better.
Well, thank you so much for calling, Bello. Thank you for your question. Before next week's program, we have a practical assignment for every listener. This week's soil detective, Fatima, what is today's soil health challenge?
For this week's soil health challenge, visit your farm and answer these few questions. Number 1, crop rotation. How many years have you planted the same crop continuously on the same piece of land? More than 3 years? Your soil may be losing diversity. Have you rotated with legumes such as cowpea, soybean or groundnuts? If yes, you are already practicing aspects of regenerative agriculture. 2. Soil cover. Walk around your farm. Can you see bare soil exposed to direct sunlight? Or is the soil protected by residues, cover crops, or natural vegetation? Regenerative farms keep the soil covered for most of the year. Thirdly, water infiltration test. Pour a small container of water onto your soil. Does the water quickly run away, remain standing, or slowly soak into the ground? Healthy regenerative soils absorb water better and suffer less erosion.
Thank you, Fatima. Before we bring today's program to an end, any reflection from our farmers and guests?
I have learned that soil fertility alone is not enough. Soil health includes water, life, and structure.
Kasimu?
I now understand why increasing fertilizer every year did not solve my problem.
And you, Shaibu?
Small actions such as residue retention, crop rotation, cover cropping, reduced tillage, water harvesting and protecting beneficial trees can gradually rebuild degraded soils.
Exactly. Regenerative agriculture is not one technology. It is a way of thinking. Disturb the soil less, keep the soil covered, keep living roots in the soil, diversify crops and integrate trees and livestock whenever possible. When these principles are followed continuously, the soil becomes healthier every season.
Sir, could you leave us with a closing message?
For many years, agriculture focused on feeding crops. Today, we understand that we must also feed the soil. Healthy soils contain nutrients, water, and life. Regenerative agriculture means leaving the land better than we met it. A farmer should not only harvest crop, a farmer should also harvest healthier soil every season. The future of farming lies not in applying more fertilizer alone, but in rebuilding our soils. Lafiyayyar ƙasa ita ce arzikin noma. A healthy and regenerated soil is the inheritance of prosperous farmer. In Hausa, lafiyayyar ƙasa ita ce arzikin manoma. A healthy and regenerated soil is the inheritance of prosperous farmers.
Thank you so much for that, Prof. Remember, listeners, do not simply ask, what can I take from the soil? Also ask, what can I return to the soil? And this brings us to the end of our program, brought to you by Zaria Fertilizer, your partner in productive farming. Brought to you by the S3A SRG under the NALS, FARA, AFAS, SAAC4C Soil Health Series. For Zaria Fertilizer inquiries, call 080-3715-4428. For inquiries or to send your question to our Soil Doctor Clinic, send your questions through the comments section. Remember, understand the soil, feed the soil, sustain the harvest, and secure the future. Join us again next week for another very interesting topic on weeding, fertilizer application, and thinning. Noma da hikima, Gilbi da yalwa. Farm with wisdom, harvest with abundance. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to the NALS Farming Smart channel. Until next week, I am Halima Musa, wishing you healthy soil, abundant harvest, and prosperous farming. Semako Mizua.